Hello and welcome to a new edition of our program Today's Youth. Our guest for today is Rana Salah. She's currently pursuing her master's degree in biotechnology at the American University here in Cairo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rana, as I've just read that you have just graduated this year and you are from the top 10% in your class at the AUC here in Egypt. What is your current vision and how do you plan to progress in the biological field?
So currently I just graduated, as you mentioned, and then I joined the biotechnology program, and mainly my plans are tackling two main tracks. So the first one is that I'm mainly working on my master program and my master project. So mainly what I'm tackling or what I want to do is that I want to progress in the diagnosis field. So I'm trying to do I'm working on the neurodevelopmental disorders generally, especially autism. Actually, even in the country here, there is a lot
of... You mentioned?
Yes, autism. So we are actually trying to find a new diagnosis program that covers both the genetic part and the environmental contributions or parts that contribute to the diagnosis of autism generally, and it can help also people with special needs generally in order to know their specific needs and how we can help them to find jobs and actually to progress in their education as well. And on the second part, this diagnosis development can actually tackle different parts in order to innovate the personalized medicine or precision health careers that it's found all over the world. It's actually very important to have it in Egypt. So mainly I was working on my thesis project. I had two capstone projects. One of them was mainly working on cardiovascular diseases. So I was actually trying to find a diagnosis using artificial intelligence,
yes,
which is really an important part or important career and field that should be integrated in the healthcare system, and it will lead to a lot of innovations because we will hugely decrease the misdiagnosis and any opportunity to have failure in diagnosing someone who can be easily diagnosed using an AI system or even a tracking system for the doctor's decisions. And it can help the patient itself to track his health. So that's mainly the part that I'm mainly working and tackling. And the other part is I'm trying to give back to my community generally. So I'm not only trying to give back to I'm actually currently working as a teaching assistant at AUC. So I'm trying to give back to the university students themselves and help them to give them the knowledge I gained. And on the other part, I actually currently the Egypt coordinator, the first one for Egypt, and
yes,
the Next Health Global Health Security Network, Next Generation Global Health Security Network. And actually this part mainly I'm tackling in order to give the opportunity for Egyptian students and researchers to have opportunity to communicate with global researchers in order to innovate their skills and know the issues that is arising in the field generally all over the world, especially in fields like global biosecurity and biosafety generally, in order to be really well established with the field generally.
Yes, I can see that you are making now your master's degree in biotechnology.
Yes.
Why biotechnology in particular, and how it can help you in your researches?
So biotechnology is a really important field because what I'm trying to address in my future is that, for example, we are having currently the Egyptian Genome Project. So as I told you that the precision health field is really important, and the biotechnology field is a basis for it in order to have biotechnology actually can have applications not only in the health field, but it can also have in the agriculture, and it can have in other fields like industries and as well. But tackling it in the health field will be a huge opportunity for us, especially if we're having limited numbers of people working on the healthcare practitioners. It will help them in order to gain not only a helpful training system, but it will also help them if it's actually educated in all of the healthcare related universities that will help them a lot. So I'm also interested in like curricular development and these related stuff. So I feel that in integrating or having well knowledge here in Egypt and the artificial intelligence that is related to the diagnosis and the healthcare field would be really important. And then I also feel in the biotechnology. I have been working for it since I graduated from STEM, and I have worked through it also in my biological study undergraduate studies. So I feel that's my true passion, and that's why I'm trying to
biotechnology.
pursue. Yeah.
Also, you said that you want to be specialized in autism.
Yes.
In researches, scientific researches related to autism. Do you feel that you have the support of the university, the government, or you need more support to pursue your scientific researches?
So yeah, so actually I'm working under the supervision of the chair of our biology department, Dr. Ahmed Mustafa, and he is actually we are trying to get the help of international institutions who are interested in the field of autism, and we are actually getting sponsorships for the data sets and how we get them. And it's actually important that we start to establish data sets here in Egypt, because we may have different genetic variations between people abroad and people here in Egypt. So it's really important that we start to gather our own data. However, we can start working on the diagnosis system and start to enhance it instead of just trying. We can move in two ways along each other. So that's what we are trying to do. And actually, I feel that when here in Egypt they start to feel that the genetic board and genetic research is having this huge importance, they will give it a huge opportunity, because a lot of initiatives are already given for people who are having autism, and a lot of associations are actually launched. And I feel that the next part that I want actually to do in my future is that we start to establish an association that is international for autism, so we can get the huge funds that people who don't know how to reach out to researchers working in the field. So if you're having a certain association that is known to be an Egyptian and international, we will be having a lot of sources of funding, and we will have researchers who can be trained not even after they graduate, but through their through internships when they are still undergrads, so they know if they are going to succeed in this field and it's their true passion.
So actually, this is good news for all Egyptian scientists now, that they can find the support they need in their country. They don't have to move abroad, as now we can. We don't need to hear the statement of, if you want to be a scientist, you have to leave and go get the support from other countries.
Yeah.
So as you just mentioned, that now we have this support here in Egypt. You don't have to leave the country to find the kind of support you need for scientific researches, right?
Yes, that's definitely true. And actually, not only in the field of healthcare, a lot of opportunities are actually available for students and researchers working in different fields. For example, hosting the COP27, the climate change, the United Nations climate change conference.
The COP27 in November, yes.
Yes, so it's really a huge opportunity. So people working in environmental science research as well will have a huge opportunity to participate. And people working in our field are actually also getting a lot of support from the huge event.
So, yes, if we talk about the role of family and its support, and it is also super important, do you also have an advice to current undergraduate students to get the most out of their university experience?
So actually, I believe that one of my major key for success was having a supportive family. I learned a lot from my family because they were actually true role models. For example, my father was also working in academia. He is a professor, and he also always taught me how a true teacher can be and how a professor can help his students and how he can be super helpful and supportive. And he always taught me that it's not only about success or gaining grades, that we have to follow the science itself, and we have to participate from very young age in competitions, and how we can really learn to have an impact. And also, my mother was super helpful, and she also always organized our life in order to have you need to have a support system that is actually believing in your capabilities, and he is giving you the opportunity to follow your passion. And a very important thing I want to highlight is that as a girl in science, you don't always have this opportunity to live I living in a boarding schools for 7 years. I'm actually from Mansoura, so my university was in Cairo, and in STEM it was also a boarding school. So I got a huge huge trust from my family in order to help me that I go to these places, and they believed in me that it doesn't have to be like limited for certain people or certain options. So I was
So you
lucky
left
to have.
Mansoura and you came here to
Yes.
pursue your study in the American University.
Yeah, and that wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't able to do this if they were not like supportive and they believed in the passion and the impact of science. So
But
that
you
was
didn't
really
choose
important.
to study medicine, to join.
Yeah, I
You
didn't choose.
decided to study biology and molecular biology.
Yes.
Why? Why molecular biology?
Yeah, actually, I got accepted to medical school, and then
Yes.
I decided to focus on the molecular biology because I found that it's the closest step towards my passion. So I wanted to focus on this part, not only the clinical part generally,
It's also related to the medical field, but in a different
especially,
way.
but in a research, it's more research focused. So I wanted to focus mainly all my efforts on the work on the genetics. So that's why I decided to join it. And it's actually a really interesting field that people should like, people and students in Egypt have to know that it's not only limited to certain like
It is not
careers.
limited.
Yeah, it's not limited. It has a lot of opportunities, and it actually can make huge differences. So your research can actually go directly to do an impact on the real world, especially when we had the pandemic, for example.
Yes.
People who are working on
I
vaccines
see that
and all
you
of
made
that.
some researches on COVID-19
Yes.
in one of your researches.
Yes, I participated in an international competition. It was called IGEM in synthetic biology. And mainly we were working on COVID-19, and it was related to vaccines, to developing a therapeutic treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back to continue this interesting interview with our guest for today, Rana. So stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still hosting our guest for today, and she is a graduate from the American University in Cairo, and she's telling us about her career in studying molecular biology and her scientific researches in related to autism. Back to you, Rana, and we were talking before the break about your researches in COVID-19. So can you elaborate?
So mainly, as I told you, that I participated in an international competition. It was actually tackling synthetic biology in different fields.
Yes.
And the field that we decided to work on, we participated actually in the year of the pandemic. So we decided to work in COVID-19 mainly. And we were tackling a therapeutic treatment that is actually based on the genetics itself. So we're trying to tackle a drug delivery system that can reach to only the infected cells in order to propose this treatment, or actually have a two-hole switch circuit. It's a circuit that is actually based on molecular biology.
Yes.
So it was really an interesting field in virology generally to work on this, and to have that you can save lives using your science and your research. So that's why we actually also wanted to work more on it in order to have it like a diagnosis kit and therapeutic kit, and not only to be limited to one part. So that's the potential that you can actually edit to small edits in the genetic level, and then you have a lot of huge potential.
Yes. Also, representing Egypt in multiple international events was definitely a huge responsibility, and it required a lot of preparations. What do you think were the major key of success in your journey?
So I actually have, as I previously told here, that I was actually participated or represented Egypt in different events. I started from Indonesia when I was still a high school student in my last year, and it was actually the Asian Science Camp, and we were actually gathered with students from all over Asia. And then I participated in Ukraine in a volunteering project with Isaac, and we were mainly tackling environmental issues and sustainability-related projects. And then finally in 2021, I participated in Uganda, and I was giving my own panel discussion and lecture about the opportunities and threats of the synthetic biology field. And then I feel that the major key of success, as I told you previously, is a supportive system of the family. And the other part that I want to highlight for all the students who are working is that you have to know yourself and to know your capabilities, that you are not limited to the certain capabilities that you know, but you have to find and search for your purpose. So you always have to try new fields, and you have to participate in different activities. You have to seek internships when you are still in your undergraduate studies, and you have to be consistent, is that you have the purpose that now and in the place you are, you have the capability and you have the opportunity to unleash a lot of gates to success. So that's mainly what helped me.
Rana, can you tell us a message for Egyptian youths?
Okay, so mainly, as I told you, that they have to believe that here in their countries they have a lot of potential and they have a lot of opportunities. However, they have to build their own. The current job market, for example, is really competitive, not only in Egypt but all over the world.
Yes.
So they have to work on developing their own skills, and that's a really important part. That currently a lot of initiatives that they have to seek in the newly growing technologies and newly growing fields as artificial intelligence, software engineering, and these fields, and actually even fields in biological field like the integration between engineering and science, like in synthetic biology. A lot of initiatives, even from ministries here in Egypt, is actually tackling this and giving them the opportunity to take courses, to take internships, and to even start freelancing, and a lot of opportunities are available. They have to seek it and they have to search for it. And for their families, they have to believe in them. They don't have to limit them to certain careers or push them towards them. They have to give them the opportunity to explore more and to know how they can give the best to their community. And even here, the role of media as well is really important to show them that a lot of successful representations are found across fields, so they don't have to feel that they are lacking behind or that they don't know that they are in an issue in itself, but they have the opportunity to progress.
So you said that you were also making some studies on genes and genetics. Now we can see that there are many researchers that say that we can now cure people through addressing genetic issues. So do you think that this is going to be the future?
Yes, that's certainly going to be the future, and that's the future of precision health generally. So as I told you, that having the Egyptian Genome Project currently will help us to have a reference for the true or healthy Egyptian genomes. And accordingly, if you're having any defect or having any you can be really, really early diagnosed before even you have any symptoms. So just if you're having a certain defect in your genetics or a certain mutation, it can be easily detected and you can be early diagnosed, and even you can be treated through genetic therapy. You can avoid to have it, and you can be really early diagnosed. You can also have, even if it was detected, it was serious, it can be easily treated through gene therapy.
Yes.
A lot of research is going on this, and even
Is
like
gene therapy applied now or still under researchers?
it's under research here in Egypt, but however, it's applied abroad. And actually, it's not only for gene therapy, for example, immunotherapy for cancer patients. It's based on the genetics and your own genetics, and it's not limited even to like health issues. You can even like working on nutrition, for example. You can have nutrition plans based on your genetics. So it's not limited. It's a huge potential, and it helps us to know a lot about our own history, about our own health, and it's really impactful.
So, Rana, if you tell us more about the current opportunities and challenges that face you while achieving your goals.
So mainly, as I told you, based on the research part, we mainly want to work more on addressing the awareness of the people in order to participate, for example, in building the data sets. So people generally...
You need more volunteers to come.
Yes. Yes, in order to have
research.
Yeah, sure, because you need people to be like references, even people who are having the disease, in order to build a huge data set. So, for example,
this is related to autism, your specialty now.
Yes, sure. And it's not only applied to autism, it's my own specialty, but working in any field, even in my thesis on the cardiovascular diseases, it was also the same thing. So mainly you need volunteers in order to have a comparison between the healthy patients and unhealthy patients. And generally, there's also actual, not only the awareness of like the patients or their families, but also for the industries or stakeholders. For example, I was working on my second thesis on genotoxicity. So we are trying to develop a new assay that uses only a single blood drop in order to be able to detect if you are having like DNA damage. So it can be an early diagnosis for tumor genesis, if you have cancer or not. So actually, it's really powerful if it's worked, and it's really like you can finish the test in very limited time, and it's really affordable. So new industries, for example, we were testing the titanium dioxide nanoparticles, and mainly they are found across industries. They are hugely found even in the paintings. So if industries are actually willing to use this cat, for example, in order to test the efficacy of their nanoparticles or how they are harmful or not, in order to like care about the health and reduce the air pollution generally, you can use this affordable kit. And then if you have the awareness, they will do this, and they will, even if they have alternatives, they can easily test it. So we'll be having a huge like progress that can be even spread for all the world, that we are having actual easily testing for the actual used products in our industries.
Yes. So also finally, as a fresh graduate, how do you view the current job market and the available opportunities?
So generally, as I told you, that the job market is having a lot of competition. So the skills are really important, and usually now you are looking for students who are having practical experience before graduating. So I feel that it's a call for all the universities in order to have an internship program in their final year, in order to give the students the ability to get introduced to the job market and know where they actually stand. And actually, for the available opportunities, I feel that the initiatives that are actually launched are really helpful in tackling this. So if you're having access for online courses, if you're having access for the currently growing job markets, for even like courses available at the ITI related to the engineering, new technologies, and they are not even limited to certain faculties, but they are open for our students. So it's important for them to go and like search for what they have and know a certain purpose and know a certain goal that is ahead of their eyes in order to achieve it. And I believe that if anyone has a dream, it will come true.
Yes. And how do you see the future of scientific research here in Egypt?
So what I believe in is that it's actually going to grow, and it's really important to have like centers of excellence. So that's what I'm trying to like propose or trying to take steps in order to launch. So, for example, if you are having a center of excellence, for example, and that is AI-based in the healthcare system, it will help both in training researchers, training people or students who are still in the healthcare system, and actually it will help in giving a certain products that can be assessed, that can be available for all hospitals, for all like companies in order to access. It will be a huge...
Yes, and finally, I'd like to thank you, Rana Salah. Thank you for being with us today, and I hope you achieve all your dreams in the coming period.
Thank you.
And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Today's Youth. See you next time.